it's vitally important that it be understood that what we're going to discuss today is nothing more, right, than delusional thoughts of an individual who some might say he's got too much time on his hands, or an individual who likes to consider the impossible possible by observance and consideration of the understanding that the world is nothing but energy, and there is a small part within us all that constitutes some type of energy that is beyond normally comprehended energy, which is called consciousness, right? And I think that's probably the first place to start. And consciousness being an expression of something over multiple states of existence, or over multiple states of equilibrium. Is that equilibrium? Or vibration, or whatever you want to call it, I don't know. But over multiple states of a certain constant within a frequency, right? If that makes some logical sense. So take it how you may, understand it how you may, but don't by any means take it the same way in which I understand it, and the same way in which I define it. So without further ado, let's begin. So simply put, right, this is an aerial view of a part of Croydon. But the part that I want to bring your attention to is the section where it goes east to Croydon, the East Croydon section. As you can see there, right, what you have is a pretty much, just like by the railway station there, you can see that there's a long road, right, that ultimately goes from one direction to the other direction, where East Croydon station is right there, and there's a tram stop, etc. But I just want to bring your attention to that. This is an aerial view of that location, and so I'm going to bring you down to the bird's eye view, right? As a relative conceptual notion of what that looks like today, to some regard, right? And don't be shocked. Take what I said at the beginning of the video into consideration as we progress forwards. Into the understanding of what I seek to express. Here's the that was the bird's eye view. You can see the railway lines there, and now we're going to go to the in-person view of that environment as it is at this moment in time. So basically, it's like a highway now. Right, to a kind of degree, you got like we can see these cars going past here, and basically there's no trains on this particular track anymore, and you have a few buildings there, which I'll explain roughly in a minute, but things aren't completely where they are or where they ultimately should be, based on our understanding, or based on our conceptual understanding of what we believe the environment should be like, right? That's the first thing to understand. So given an accurate understanding, that video is pretty much right in this particular location where I'm standing here now, where this particular photo is being referenced, will be the same location in which that video was particularly taken, but obviously the environment is definitely different based on the notion of erosion through time. Is one thing I can say to simplify the understanding of what it is this crazy person is expressing in this particular moment in time. So that's that building that you can see there is number one, Croydon something, number one something. I forgot the the name of it, but it's an important referential business associated building associated with aspects of business. And so this building here that you can see here is logically the same building, believe it or not. Like, it's the same building, but it's not really the same location. Rather, it retains its it's complicated, right? But it's some kid who got it on YouTube somewhere. If you can find a video, he explains the notion of these things in a much better fashion. But basically, yeah, it's same. It's the same building, same somewhat purpose, just a little bit more offset in regards to the location that it is, and that like it's on the other side of the railway lines, whereas the railway became that actual roadway, and this building sort of like its purpose sort of shifted a bit, but it's still in the same somewhat location, which is next to the main station, which is supposed to be ultimately it's Croydon Station, right? And it sounds ultimately bizarre for the most part, but its concept is difficult when you imagine the length of time we're speaking here. I'm not gonna go straight into the length of time because I don't feel like it has crazy much relevance in some regard. Right, so logically speaking, what you're looking at here is basically just like outside the station, away from that building that I just showed you prior, referencing it as one. And as you can see, it's still, especially speaking, you can see these stairs here, which is basically still part of the station to some degree. And you can see the little G up here. See the little G there? You can see that still sort of. So this is still the main station, right? Which you're going to consider East Croydon for reference here. And you have a bunch of shops there, and it's just like distances are definitely a bit different in terms of walking. Like they feel a bit different in my viewpoint. But then this particular section is just almost akin to this section here. But we actually, things shifted a bit more left here for the most part. But yeah, but pretty much the same ethos, because you can see the structure of it. So yeah, so it's pretty much the same, just it's been designed a whole lot more different. And I think that the key thing here for me that links these things together is this here. So if you can see that there's a Burger King here, right, which is probably one of the main fundamental things, like that's vital to this particular reference to this Burger King here. And the station is still just up here, as you can see, this overhead section here, right? And we have this Burger King here, and as you can see here, there's a Burger King there, which is the key fundamental bit, which is near the station, right? Well, this one is embedded into the station, but it just is close to the station because the way the station is structured is completely different now. And then we have the look at that. No, but yeah, so yeah, and then obviously there's like as you can see here, there's a box park. Here we have a Burger King. But then what's actually of most importance here is the box park. And then I don't know if you can see this little section here, this little gateway here. It's like another place that you can go, which is pretty much akin to Box Park, right? But it doesn't hold the same geological spatial boundary as Box Park. So you have your Box Park entrance here, right? You go up there with you go up to Box Park through the stair, not these stairs, but the other stairs. It's basically Box Park, right? But it's not Box Park. It's something else. It's this organization thing here. And so yeah, so that's what this particular thing here brings reference to, is that notion of a Box Park like environment right next to Burger King, right next to the station, close to the building that I showed before, which was number 1, and close to the sort of where the railway lines should be, but people are instead using cars to a degree. And it's I personally feel like, yes, of course, it is a bit crazy in some regards, but yeah, this place here, see, you go up these stairs and then there's more stairs and then there's more stairs. So basically, it's like and then it's basically like the same structure as the box park next to the Burger King, and it's exactly like what you would imagine, or what the notion of what it is that I'm seeking to describe in this particular video here. So yeah, that's pretty much that, and it sounds crazy, but again, if we consider the time frames that are in between these sections, these things that I'm showing here, if we consider these time frames, they're completely drastic to a point where you would even like, I don't want to get into that right now, but just to understand the layout and the structure of it, like a HTML document is pretty nuts in my viewpoint. So yes, that's the first section. So basically what you see here is that as we move further along down that road, from the station, which is far from like up there, as you go down that road, you come across this here McDonald's, right? So something's actually lasted the test of time to a degree that's unfathomable, but you come across this McDonald's, and there's also a Wendy's there, unfortunately, but the McDonald's takes precedence over this particular section. It's weird how it's configured, right? The way that this thing functions. But that's pretty much it. That McDonald's there holds the reference point, which then ultimately aligns to this McDonald's here. So it's actually the same, referential thing in terms of the way that the thing sort of aligns it. It's weird. It's very weird and it's weird and less not complex. But again, this is the mind of a somewhat crazy and delusional person. Speaking, right? So that's the foremost and firstmost thing to understand. It's this particular McDonald's, and you sort of have this view there. You can see that number 1 building still over here. Just from the outside the McDonald's section there, you can see there's still somewhat of a. You can see the distance here, but obviously, from that particular McDonald's, it's, you can't really see the McDonald's, but it's just right there where this blue thing is here, right? And then this is the road to the other side of the McDonald's. This is what you ultimately see here, and this building, it might be the follow-on building, but this is where you pretty much see here. The McDonald's is just here to the left where that blue bit is there, and to the right is the actual other section here, as you can see, pretty much here. But what you have to understand is the way that it aligns the things, right? So even though the McDonald's is just right here where this part is here, and over here on the other side you have like different stuff. It's pretty much similar here. We're just looking from the conceptual side of what, like, from the other side. This is like the section that you be pretty much looking at here. And what the relevant thing is that, like, instead of having like this section here, right, with the colleges on the other side there, you have instead this other section here called Park something there. And basically that's what that ultimately looks like, right, for the most part. So what you're looking at here is this section here, right, and this section here is ultimately this section here ish, like around this region here, and then this bit here is ultimately this region here where the colleges, the Sainsbury's, etc. This open space here, and because there's like a theater place there, so that section actually became this section here called Park something there, Park Salome, I think it's called, and yeah, pretty much that's why that's the section that you pretty much get there. And this road here, right, it sort of narrowed down a bit and it became sort of this road here, and the McDonald's is just here where this picture was taken, and you know that's what that ultimately became. This road here narrowed down, and this here ultimately became that building, which is this idea where the Sainsbury's is and the college and stuff is, which ultimately looks like that. And there's a whole section here for that. But people basically hang around there, just like, you know, similar thing how people will be hanging around the college and stuff like that. And yeah, the McDonald's is pretty much here. So this here will be the McDonald's, not to bait any. Yeah, but yeah, pretty much it's that'll be the McDonald's. That's pretty much here, right? And when you get this, it's really crazy. For me, yeah, it just hit me one time. I'm just like, nah, that is crazy. It can't be, man. I was like, nah, she can't be. And I thought about it, and I was like, nah. But I saw it. I was like, yeah. Freaked me out a little bit. But yeah, but the road definitely narrowed down a lot. This central road here narrowed down a great deal. And on this side here, you don't really get the same as it is here. You see here, it's like it's wider, etc. Whereas in section here, so it's a whole lot narrower. A whole lot narrower, and the McDonald's is still there for reference purposes. And yeah, and then pretty much that's the McDonald's that's still somewhat there. Whether that's what that is, or if there's like half bits and pieces and stuff like that, in regards to how the whole thing functions, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, and that's pretty much it, right, for this particular section. It's like that's how that is. So it's just moving down this particular road here. You still got a McDonald's there. Which is ultimately this McDonald's, that McDonald's. This McDonald's is that McDonald's. Yeah, that's pretty much the notion of it all here. So that's a McDonald's as we move down this road here from the station section. Okay, so ultimately following on from where we left off prior. So basically, you know, even as you go down the road, right, there's a bunch of stuff, even the markets and things, you know. When you understand that dynamic of how, like, for example, you know, you got like these streets which are completely like market led streets, You know, like if you take a right, you know, you're gonna find a bunch of like stuff, and then if you take like a left, you're gonna find like a bunch of stuff, etc. All that stuff, leaving all that aside, right? But also there's like a point of relevance in relation to how everything can still be structured in this particular layout, right? It's like I think that's the most important relevance thing here. So there's even a supermarket here. This likewise is a supermarket, but I ain't got pictures of that at this present moment in time. That's you know close to a similar section. So here, you know, to the left here, you find a similar supermarket, give or take the same level of detail or the same level of or similar stock as the one shown here. But the key section, I think, the key section I feel here is to understand the like what it is ultimately looking at here. So this is basically the section that you're looking at this point in time. So you either continue straight or you either take a left or a right. But basically the path forward is not through the underpass. It's more so to the road to the it's like it's the way it's sectioned is a bit different. But that's basically what you're looking at in this particular section here, and this is pretty much that road or that particular section, you know. And it sounds crazy, I know, but again, it is a crazy, somewhat delusional theorist speaking. You can call it that. Yeah, so basically that's what you're looking at now, right? Like, you know, as you come down that road, is pretty much that same stance, right? Like from the station all the way down, from the station all the way down, and basically, you know, you can go, you know, as you can see here, there's stairs here, as you can see, you can go up the stairs and onto this path here, or you can go this way, take a left, and then onto this path here. So that's what you sort of looking at. So this part here, you're looking towards that direction. You've pretty much took a left, and then took another sort of turn so that you can walk towards what seems to be towards this direction here, right? And so that's pretty much it. So that's what you be looking at this direction. This direction will be this direction, right? Insane, I know, but that's pretty much it. So you'll be looking towards that direction, will be this direction compared to here. So that's like taking a right and walking right? So that's taking a right and walking, like taking a right here will be similar to here, right? Taking a right, and then that's what you'll be looking towards this direction, which what you ultimately see is pretty much like this. And then, you know, this here is now like a left. So as you can see here, if you took a right at that section, you'd come up this ramp here, and then you'd obviously take a right, and then you walk on this path here. Whereas what we were looking at now, we're looking the other direction, right? So instead, we're looking as if you take a left here, right? So as if you've taken a left here, or as if you've taken a left here. I don't know if you can see the other side of the road there. Yeah, well, pretty much, yeah, as if you've taken a left and you're going towards this road, or going down this road here, right? And then what you'd see from there is pretty much this direction, right? And then here is where you take a left to go up to towards the station sides, and yeah, and that's pretty much that direction is pretty much, yeah. I don't know if I can put this in terms that anybody can conceptually understand or even take on board. I think it would be quite difficult to do so. but I'm hoping that what I've given as a reference point is sort of, to some degree logically conceptual, realizable into a real understanding of what's being expressed here. Now, the notion of time between these gaps is just beyond what one can put into words, or is beyond what I don't want to get into that right now. But it's a hefty piece. It's a hefty long time. We can say, let's say, yeah, you can round it up for simplicity's sake. Let's say 100. Let's get 100 plus, right? Let's just say that. But logically speaking, time is a complicated mechanism, especially regarding the units, measurements, etc. There's a lot of that. I mentioned before somewhere else about rings that you would have in operating systems. But yeah, this is what you're looking at, man. This is it. There's the get there, the version control, creating trust and excellence, or whatever the reference point is in that particular scenario. But as you can see, right, you're looking that side, looking that side, you're looking that side, looking that side, and this is that bomb there. You can see here where the tram now goes this particular direction, or tram train goes this particular direction. You can see here, right? That's that viewpoint from there, and that's the and that's it really. What I was seeking to give an expression of, and for me personally, my own understanding is very complicated in regards to this. We can't talk much about it, because the things that that are difficult to conceptualize. But I think that for me, avoid getting scam tricked or manipulated in one regard or another. And that's why I tell you that don't take my word for granted. Just take what it is that I'm giving to you as a reference point in regards to the correct understanding of what it is that I've observed and what it is that this reality has given me as something to think about, right? That ultimately I could get right or wrong, but without the full scope understanding of it, and while also being alone in this thought process, it's difficult for me to say what's right or what's wrong or what's this. I can only make assumptions, and I can I can only make personal judgments that I can give specific scores or reference points to in relation to how I feel or how I understand about it, and also to the level of confidence that I hold in regards to whether or not it is what I'm stating is correct. I can only give a conceptual view or conceptual understanding of what my current understanding is. And obviously there's a lot more that encompasses this, like a shit ton more. That it's funny to even begin to say that one knows, or one fully understands, or one is that conceptual knowledge in this particular set of thing. It's complicated. But that's pretty much it for now. And I hope it brought some insight to you. And let me know what you think if you feel comfortable doing so, because I know it's not a comfortable thing or a comfortable topic to discuss. Right? And also as a final note, I think we all know that there's a central in this is a blow your mind, like the central section, right? We know central in Croydon. We know there's a central in Croydon. You know that. I have an understanding of that, right? And I think that gap is what ultimately brings light to the relevance, right? The relevance scoring regarding this, or the relevance scoring regarding this conceptual understanding.